Well, hello friends. Welcome back to DevTools Hacking. Today we are going to get back on the horse with Hack Studio. So I kind of got stuck here with this form designer that I started on because I keep thinking with these form designers that I want to have static UIs, but every time I actually build an application, I end up using layouts. And for some reason, my mind has been stuck in this kind of old-style Visual Basic form designer paradigm, and in reality, what I want to use is layouts. So today, we are going to start building something that allows us to use more dynamic layouts, I guess. And what I would like to do is to have something like this application here, text editor, which is a simple layout-based application, has a vertical layout in the main window, and it has a toolbar up top, text widget here, and status bar at the bottom. This kind of thing, I would like to be able to describe this in a JSON file and then load such a JSON file at runtime and get the UI built that way. Because if you look at the way that it's built right now, it's this thing called text editor widget, which is a separate file for some reason. It's basically a widget that is constructed programmatically, and the layout specifically is made programmatically. So here you can see that we set a vertical layout with a certain spacing. We add a toolbar container to it. We add a toolbar to the toolbar container. We put a splitter somewhere. What's that used for? Text editor goes in the splitter. The web view goes in the splitter, right? Preview stuff. So if you write something like, hello there, and this text blinks, then it's HTML. So this is a splitter that we have here. And basically the whole UI is built programmatically, right? And I would like this to be built in a JSON file, and the whole point of that is that it will make it a lot easier to make Hack Studio produce such JSON files, because really we don't have a way to do that right now. And I had some previous ideas about Hack Studio producing essentially like C++ code that you would then compile, and it would sort of look like this, right? But I think using JSON to build the UI dynamically will be a lot more flexible, and it will also allow some interesting things going forward, like creating applications using other things other than C++. So if we look at this UI right here, if we wanted to write that in JSON, I guess we can just try to do it and see what that would be like. So text editor, we'll call it, I don't know, main window.json, or text editor, we'll call it main window.json. Okay, so how would this look like? I guess what we would do is something like this, and it would just be like a nested tree of widgets. So here we would say vertical, or no, we would do this. Class is vertical box layout. Spacing is 2. So that seems to be the general structure of that. And then there would be something like children, which I suppose could be it should be ordered so that it's back to front. So let's see. So we'll add a toolbar container. Class. This is so weird, but we'll get used to it. And obviously we want to build tools that do this eventually, but it's kind of cool if we can do this way right now. GUI toolbar container. And not much more about that one. So wait, hold on. So how do we do this? There's a class. This is an object, right? And an object has a class, and then it can have children. And same story one more time. Class, GUI toolbar. And I think for the toolbar, what we end up doing with the toolbar is we just add a bunch of actions to it and separators. And I'm thinking that that's something that we could do in the code still. This is more about making the outline of the UI and then adding stuff like actions to the toolbar. While it might be neat to do it in the JSON, it's a little more involved because it means that we would have to tell it like how to find those actions, which, you know, going forward would probably be a good idea to make actions exist in some kind of lookup scope where you could query for an action by name. But right now we don't have anything like that, so we're just going to do the sort of the wireframe of the UI here. So I think in order to be able to find these from C++, we need to name them. Also, there's so much going on in this constructor. So the container can be anonymous because we don't really care about it, but we need to be able to grab at the toolbar, so we'll call it the toolbar. Something like that. And I think that makes sense. So then the children of the toolbar container end here, toolbar container ends here, and then the next child of the main layout is a splitter. So that will be like this. This is really weird for me, by the way, because I've never done this kind of thing, but this will be an interesting experiment. And I already feel like the layout is sort of becoming more understandable by doing it this way. I don't know if that actually translates to you, but like reading the layout like this seems a bit more overview friendly than reading it interleaved with random pieces of code. So the horizontal splitter just has children, I guess. So we'll put children, and then we need a text editor on the left-hand side. Class GUI text editor, and then we'll give it a name so that we can pick it up. Call it editor. And I think the rest will do from C++ for now. You know, then in the future it would be cool if you could set properties like ruler visible, automatic indentation, things like that. If you could set them from the JSON as well. But right now we'll just do the layout. And then the next child is going to be a in-process web view. So that would be that's from libweb, an in-process web view. Maybe we should use an out-of-process web view, but right now apparently we're using an in-process one, so that's fine. And we'll call this the page view, or maybe we'll call it the web view. I don't know. That's fine, I guess. And that goes in the splitter as well. And then Oh, there's a find and replace widget. I forgot about that one. It's here. If we press Control F, it pops up. So that guy lives after the splitter, but before the status bar. Okay, that's fine. So it goes here. That's a GUI widget. GUI widget name. Find place widget. Yeah. And it has a bunch of interesting layout properties actually. So those we should probably be able to set from here because this is strictly about layout, right? So this guy has a size policy. So we'll say size policy or horizontal size policy is. Now, should we write this out the full way? No, I think that's a bit silly. We can just say fill. And vertical is fixed. And horizontal preferred, or really preferred width is 0. Preferred height is 48. Also, I guess we don't need to say 0 since we already said fill, which means fill up all the available horizontal space. Okay, and then the layout of this widget is supposed to have it's supposed to be a vertical box layout with these margins. So we'll do something like this. Layout. Class is GUI vertical box layout. Margins. And those are 2, 2, 2, 4. Okay. It seems like that will be enough. Okay. Find and replace, these are like sub-widgets. So I feel like maybe we'll do the find replace widget in C++ still, like the contents of it, and we can do more of this later, converting more of it to JSON. I just want to get to the place where we can test. So all these buttons and stuff, we'll do them later. Then the status bar finally shows up. So comes after here. That's actually, what is that? That's a new child of the main widget. So class GUI status bar. And does anything happen with that thing? Not really, we just store it somewhere. Okay, well, that's easy. We can just name status bar. Okay, so this is sort of what I had in mind. Looks pretty simple. Now, how would we load this? I guess the first thing is we need to have this available to us in C++. So to make it easy for ourselves, let's just let's just copy paste it here. So we'll put it in static const char. UI JSON, I don't know. It's not the most important thing in the world. This is, oh god, this is gonna be so annoying because of all of the quotes. Dang it. Okay, maybe we can cheat just this once. How do I search and replace here? Search, replace. Boom. Is that gonna work? Is this valid JSON? I don't even know. Ugh, this doesn't feel right at all. Line 2, column 13. Wait, was I not allowed to use single quotes? Okay, I'm confused. I thought JSON allowed single quotes. Now we see just how little I actually know about this. Is this valid JSON? Yeah, it is. All right. And I think we should tolerate it too, actually. Or I don't know if this means that it's valid, but it's at least parsable by somebody. So we will proceed. Extraneous close. Why do I keep expecting this to work without doing stuff like this? Oh man, this is so hideous. Wait. There's something you can do. We can use a raw string. Oh, how do you do that again? I gotta look this up. It's R quote paren, right? So wait, then we should go backwards here. All right, go back to this state, and it's R quote paren like that. Yes. Oh, dude. Heck yeah. Now we can put our hideous JSON right up in here. Beautiful. But also not beautiful. Also, the indentation is really weird. What the heck? Let's see if we can change that. I guess it's going to be indented like that for some reason. Oh, whatever. That's fine. So, let's see about... I guess we want some kind of function that... Well, let's just write it in line here for now. JSON value... I don't know. We'll see what we need, okay? And then load form, let's say, JSON value from string UI JSON. Yeah. And then load form should be like, I guess it should be like a GUI widget concept. So we'll just put it somewhere. Load form. Actually, that can be a public API. Load form. Yeah. Okay. GUI widget. So, how will this work? Load form. I guess first thing is, if JSON value is not an object, you cannot load this form. Okay. And then what we have to do now is to load a single widget, and when we encounter children, we have to instantiate them. So load form will first sort of treat one of these guys as a self and expand whatever properties onto ourselves, and then iterate through the children. So we'll say like initialize from JSON, JSON value as object, or JSON, we'll do this way. And then children is JSON get children. If children has value, wait, what does get return? Oh, okay, so children is object, children as object for each member. Then actually no, the children is an array. It's an array for each. That's the name of that. Child JSON. And then what we do there is just we want to construct a child of this class. How do we do that? We have the widget class registration thing. So we can find a widget class registration for a given class name, and then we can ask it to construct such a widget. Okay, so let's do that. Find child JSON get class value or empty. If no registration, actually we should probably, we can do it this way instead. We can iterate like elements, is that it? It's called values. Okay, my bad. Not elements, values. Okay, so we iterate these. If child JSON is object. Well, if it's not an object, then let's fail. If we don't have a registration, let's fail. Enable no class registration, or let's see, class auto class name is child JSON as object get class if class name is null. No class name. Entry. And then class name as string. Not registered. All right. Actually, here we'll check if it is a string. Okay. But if it is we find something, then child is registration construct. Okay. And then I guess add child widget. that's pretty cool. And then we initialize, or we do child widget initialize from JSON. Child JSON as object. So let's just fix this up a little bit. Okie dokes. All right, then we just need to invent initialize from JSON. So what are we doing there? Actually, this also needs to construct children. So maybe this thing should just call itself, actually. I don't know why I thought this should be a separate thing. Yeah, I should probably do it this way. Okay, and then what is it really that we want to do here? JSON get layout. If layout is an object, then this thing has a layout. So we can maybe skip initialize from JSON then. Okay, so if layout is object, then since we only have two layouts that we tend to use, we can probably hard code it here a little bit. Class. Class name is null. Invalid layout, class name, whatever. I don't know, it's just, we just have to fail here in a bunch of situations, right? And then spacing is layout. We should probably do this. As object. Get spacing. If spacing is number, first thing we gotta do is construct the layout. So layout what do we call this? For widget layout? Actually, we can just do it this way. Set spacing. Spacing. To 832. That's pretty good. And that's actually this layout. Okay, and then if class name as to string is GUI vertical box layout, then set layout GUI vertical box layout. I think we'll just hack it like this for now. Then we don't have to come up with a layout factory. Then we'll have a fail state here, where we just unknown layout class. Okay. That's pretty good. And of course, that's a failure. Right. So we construct these and then we load the form. And what else does this need to know about? This thing, we can rename this to initialize from JSON, or load from JSON. Yeah, load from JSON is pretty good. Okay, so then we need to look at the name. If name is a string, then set name as a string. Cool. And then we also have these kind of things, size policies and stuff. We can do that. Oh, and we also need to do the margins. Right. So let's start with, I guess we can start with the size policies. There's probably some better way to write all this. But we'll see. So if it's a number, or no, if it's a string, then we're interested. As a string, if it is fill, set size policy horizontal. Yeah, so it's going to be a fair amount of this right now. Not the most beautiful structure, but we'll make it work. So here comes our first blatant copy paste. And then we need the preferred height and the preferred width. If preferred height is number, set preferred. Oh, interesting. What does this do? Just calls this guy, which updates this thing. Okay, so I guess we can do something like preferred size is this, preferred. This is a little silly, but let's do it this way. I32. Okay. And then we just need the margins, which are a child of layout. Okay, so layout get margins, and if that's an array, then you know what, let's say here, if margins as array size is not 4, margins array needs 4 entries. Maybe a validation of these things should happen somewhere else. I'm not really sure. But right now, this will be okay, I think. So then we have set margins. Is it called content margins? I thought it was, no, wait, it's the layout margin that I'm thinking of. Layout, this layout, set margins. And then we need to extract those guys. So I I guess we'll do something like this. I is margins as array at I to I32. We'll do that. Okay. I wonder if this will remotely work. I suspect the problem we'll run into is that we don't have widget registrations for all of the widgets that we're using. And also we need to apparently include some layout classes here, so box layout. You are upset about text editor widget 113. So this is just not going to work, but we'll see what fails. Okay, that worked because we're still building the UI after this. Did we get some messages here? Yeah. GUI toolbar container not registered. So we gotta hook that up. Toolbar container. So how do we make a registration? I forget. We register widget. Right. So we register toolbar container. All right. Toolbar container not registered. Well, let's see. Is this thing actually getting registered? I wonder. Registering widget class. Oh wait, it's probably registered under the name toolbar container, not GUI : toolbar container. So yeah. So how do we use these? Did we actually use these yet? I forgot. Widget class reg. We use them in Hack Studio, right? But I didn't get very far with that, so I think that's probably okay that we change these so that they're called GUI button. Wait, why does that not work? Oh, okay, well, interesting. So I guess what we want to do here is say GUI like this. Class name. This macro is a little bit awkward. Really, I want the macro usage to be like this. So we're gonna have to adapt to this somehow. So how can we remove the colons in this? That's kind of a strange problem. CPP macro string substitution, is that possible? I mean, I want to do like, I want to replace colons. Oh. This is a problem I've never had. So the issue here is that we're using the input class name as part of an identifier name, and because it has colons, then it tries to look at it like that. You know what? Let's just ask the user for help. I think maybe that's the best thing to do. Or we can even do this: namespace, namespace, and then we'll use the macro like this. I think that's fine. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Yep. Okay, so oops. Then there is namespace, which we'll put right here. And the class name should also include the namespace, right? Colon. Okay. Yeah, let's not get into preprocessor magic here. That's a little unpleasant. Horizontal splitter not registered. I'm guessing that's because we didn't register that. Yeah. So we just have to register it. Splitter. This is very cool though, like the fact that we have these widget factory thingies that you can look up by name, and then you can use them to construct the widget. Then we need text editor and status bar. Okay, we're getting there. And for that we need libgui status bar. Maybe this should be in a separate file other than widget CPP. I don't know, because we're kind of including everything from widget CPP now, which makes it very heavy, but it's going to be heavy anyway, I guess. In process web view. Now this one is trickier. How do we instantiate an in process web view from here? Because it's like from a different place. I guess what we would do is we would have to register it. Can we do that from here? I wonder if the compiler will tolerate this. Web in process web view. Okay, so this has to say GUI : Will this work? It'll be super cool if it does. Alright, well, it didn't complain. So, text editor widget. Let's see what happens if we load from JSON here, and then if we get rid of this setup here. Man, how are we going to do this? So the toolbar container, it will now already exist, so we need to find it. Actually, we don't need to find it, we just need to find the toolbar. So I guess one thing you could do is something like child, find child by name, toolbar. We could assume that it works. Okay, so let's invent an API like that. The splitter, we don't need the splitter anymore. We do need to find the editor, so that would be find child by name editor. Page view, same thing here. This one, I think we called it web view for some reason. And the status bar. We also had the find replace widget. And we can get rid of those parts. This is very, very curious. Okay, so let's see. And then we just need widget needs to have a find child by name helper. Right, something like this. For each child widget, child widget. Oh, we'll just call it child. If child name is name, then found child is child. Turn iteration decision continue. But if we found it, it's a break. Something like that, and at the end we just return the found child. All right. So yeah, so we'll like iterate through all of our children and find one with the name that we specified in the JSON. Okay, and then oh, these are all widgets. Oh, that's a bit annoying. Right. We need them to be the right type. So let's hack our way around that for now. So here, what is editor? Editor is a view text editor. So yeah, we'll need a better story for this eventually. For now, we can just cheese it. Should probably have an API where it's like find child templated with the child expected child type, and then we validate that it's that's the type that we find, and so on. In process web view, and finally the status. Where's the status bar? Right here. And we crash. Why do we crash? Well, I guess because one of those was null. So either maybe I just named them wrong and I don't even remember. Name. So we have toolbar, editor, web view, status bar, and find replace widget. Let's see which ones we're looking at. Find child by name, found child. Maybe they're all gonna be. The first one is gonna be null. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Toolbar found null. Well, well, well. Why did that happen? I guess maybe we are not creating the children properly. That's what I'm thinking. We're adding them here. Okay, so construct. Let's see, so constructing child. Constructed child. Child widget. Class name. Yeah, we'll do that. That'll be nice. And then the child widget is loaded. So then, let's see, we're setting the name here. Setting name of 2, name as string. Okay. We'll see what comes up. Okay, so constructed child toolbar, set name of toolbar to toolbar. That looks all pretty good. But then we look up the child by name and we don't find it. So what does that tell us? Does set name even work? Set name looks correct. All right. I wonder if we're adding these things to the right place. Load from JSON. So what do we have for this core object? Do we have some dump thing? We have a dump tree. Yeah, we should call it dump tree when this is all finished. So here we'll do a core object dump tree and then 2. Okay, so this is our widget tree. Interesting. Okay, so it definitely constructs toolbar container with toolbar in it, splitter and everything. It's actually really cool. So it does build up the UI, but it doesn't find these guys by name. So why does this not work? For each child widget. I feel like this is probably not working out right. Evaluate child with name. Child name. Does it have name? Yes. Very nice. Printf debugging. Maybe this thing doesn't work right. For each child, I don't know, maybe that's broken. We'll find out. Evaluate child with name, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we find replace. Oh, wait, back up. Toolbar is not a direct child of the main widget. It is a descendant, but it's not a direct child. Same with editor. Editor is a child of the splitter. Toolbar is a child of the toolbar container. Okay. So that's good. That means that that's what the problem is, right? So what we want is like not a find child, but find descendant by name. Okay. We'll call this found widget. Same thing here, found widget. Okay, then for each child, found widget is child, find child by name. Wait, how do we do this? For each child widget, we have to recurse. So we look at the name and if it's a match, then we break. Otherwise, we have to look through his children as well. Found widget is child find descendant by name. If name, if this name then return this. Yeah. Okay. So, by the way, this JSON stuff should definitely not be embedded in C++. Like, we should be putting it in a separate file, for sure. Oh, look at that. It works. And see, it comes up down here. This thing totally works. We can search for ASD, find next, poof. How cool is that? So now this UI is built, wait, how do I get there? It's built in the JSON. Very awesome. So yeah, I love it. I think this is definitely the future. So wait, how do I get it to de-highlight? What an annoying editor. Yeah, so what do we do now? This is obviously something that we need to improve. So we need to make some kind of something that goes in the build system that creates a helper file for this. I would like to have typed variants of these. These are good, so let's see. We can do the libGUI changes. Specifically for adding all of the registration stuff. GUI improve widget registration mechanism a bit. Registering widgets from namespaces other than GUI. Also add a few widgets. And then we'll add, I guess, the libweb change. We can just register that widget. Web. Register, make a widget registration for, or let's just say register in process by the widget. Okay. And yeah. I guess the next step is must be to do the build system thing. Okay. So we have something similar to this in libweb, where we take the sort of the default style sheet that comes with the engine, and we turn it into a string. So that works via the generate style sheet source script. I guess we can do something similar to that here. Just go in loop GUI, or no, not in loop GUI, in text editor. So what we want to do is we want to have something that just creates this sort of thing. So this should really be something that we have globally or shared or whatever. So let's put it in meta, maybe. We already have some scripts here. So you can call it like string or text to CPP string. Something like this. I think this will be fine, and we will just do something like this. And then $1 is the name of the variable, and $2 is the $2 is the input file. Okay. So then we would run this like meta text to CPP string main window JSON. Oh wait, hold on. Just like JSON UI, something like that, and it produces this thing. This will work. Or, well, it doesn't do the quotes correctly, so we could do a raw string. I think the raw string trick was pretty cool, so let's do that. So that would be our paren. Wait. Something like that, right? I didn't do that quite right. The R comes first there. Yeah, I think that's it. Is that how we did it here? R, quote, paren, and then comes the text. Okay. So then here what we'll do is we'll just include what are we going to call this? Main window UI.h. Yeah, we can do it like that. And then in CMake lists, we need to make some kind of command that generates this thing. So I don't remember how to do that at all, so we'll just cheat by looking at the way libweb does it. CMake is like one of those things that if you're not using it regularly, then you just kind of forget, or at least that's how it's like for me. It's just falling out of my head. So it's some custom command thing, right? So add custom command, output, main window UI.h command. Do we have like, how do we get to the base directory of the repository? Current source here. I feel like there's probably a better way. If we look at how Windows Server does it. So Windows Server has compile IPC. CMake source dir. I'm a little bit unsure about this part. I think CMake source dir is like the current source directory. Or no, wait, it's different from this one. Okay, so CMake source dir is probably the root then. So then that would be meta text2 cpp string such sh, and then the name of it, we'll call it the main window UI. JSON, let's say. And the input file, so main window.json. Okay. And is that enough? Oh, I'm not quite sure. Okay, so that didn't work. I guess I have to add it here somehow. Cannot open main window JSON. Maybe I have to say that it's here. CMake. Okay, what's it called? CMake current source dir. Okay. Oh, I need to send it somewhere. Okay. Pardon me, it's a little bit rusty on how this whole thing was put together. Command write if different. Oh, we're using write if different. Oh, we could use that here too, I guess. Write if different. Main window dot UI.h. All right, so now it shows up there. We have to include it correctly by doing something like applications text editor, because this will be in our build directory, so we can't. I'm not sure exactly how to pick that up. Wait, it's in build applications text editor main window UIH, right here. So why can't I just pick that up? I guess I'm not in the include paths. But we can use the CMake something something. So something like that. Wait, that doesn't help me though. Because I need to include it. So how are my includes set up here? Build services, build libraries. Okay, so it'd be cool if build like just build was included, I guess. That would be nice. And this would be available here. That means that we would have to tweak this. Then we need to add it, I guess here, yeah. Include dear build system stuff. Okay, we'll just include the build directory like this. And that should just work. Oh, excuse me. Then the name is wrong. It's actually called main window UI JSON. Okay, so this can probably be cleaned up quite a bit more, the way that you do this from the, oh wait, that didn't work. The way that you do this in the build system. So where did, oh, what's wrong with my throat? Where do we go wrong here? We're having a null deref. Okay. Maybe my JSON just does not parse. We should probably pass in the string to load from JSON. I feel like maybe that's a bit cooler. We can even divide this into like string and JSON object variants. We'll do that. Load from JSON. Okay, if JSON value has value, if it doesn't have a value, we'll return false. Otherwise, we will return load from, or wait. If JSON value, if it's not an object, return false. Otherwise, return load from JSON value as object. Okay. So load from JSON parse failed. Parse non-object. Okay, and we'll find out, because I think maybe the issue is that I screwed up the generation of that text file somehow. Probably. I mean, I don't see immediately what's... Oh, wait, the backslashes. Because it's a raw string that we don't need the backslashes. Right. Text. Okay. Alright, still doesn't like it, so what's wrong with that? Parse failed. Oh wait, but did we actually generate a new version of it? No, we didn't, because the script changed, but not the input. So we'll just nuke that thing. And now this doesn't work because we need to add it here. Main window UI.h. Still not. Parse failed. Okay, all right. So what is wrong with this? Why does it fail to parse? Let me just double check here. JSON viewer. That seems fine. So I wonder what the issue is. We don't have great error reporting in the JSON parser. Also, this should probably take a string view. Don't have to make a copy of it for this. Okay. From string, yeah. I guess we can tweak this and see. So is that the problem, that it starts with a new line? I'm not really sure what to look for. We'll see. Oh, that was the problem? It started with a new line? You don't like that? That's kind of awkward. Like, I feel like we should be allowed to start with white space. Do we just not tolerate this? Let's see. We have parse. Calls parse helper. Ignore while is white space. That should get ignored. Wait, so why the heck does that even matter? I am a little bit confused. Let me print out the failing JSON then. Alright, so JSON string. Okay, but that works. Alright, so let's mess it up again. Wait, but now it's like this. Okay, I'm not exactly sure why it works now, but it is neat. So we can nuke some of these debug messages here. Setting name of. I don't know, probably maybe I had some like stale artifact or something. I don't know why it's working now. This dump here looks good. Text editor widget. We don't need to dump the tree. Okay, so this custom command, it should probably be made into CMake function of some type. Also, I'm not sure about this format of this thing, but I have to say, like, I really dig what we've made here. The fact that I can define the UI like this is kick-ass. And although now we are embedding this into the binary, you could imagine a situation where this would make it really easy, right, to override at runtime, for example. Like you could have a command line argument where you specify a different UI if you wanted to mess with something. I'm not sure exactly, but this is obviously a lot more flexible than doing this with C++. So I think this is really interesting stuff. And obviously doing this by hand now was something I'm doing for this video to like mess with it and get started. Ultimately, I would like to do this with the Hack Studio tool, but we have to start somewhere, so we start doing it by hand. I feel like the indentation style is like, does it make sense? I just kind of, I don't know. I don't know of like a JSON indentation standard, so I just went with what felt logical, but now that I look at it, it does feel a little bit strange, but maybe it's okay. I do feel like maybe the margins didn't work correctly. Let's double check on that, actually. There was something that stuck out about margins. Let's say setting margins. Let's verify at least that they do get set. Because I felt like the bottom part of the find replace widget was lacking something. Yeah, see, like it's way too squished with the status bar. It's supposed to have a little bit of extra margin. So were we setting margins? We are setting margins. So I wonder what the margins are then. Guess we can just dump them out. And we should probably have some little spaces as well. Also, what am I doing? Let's do comma. Right. Wow, that was difficult. Two, 2224. Those are the correct margins. So are they just not taking, I wonder? Let's see. Maybe we're doing something. Find replace widget. Just finding it like that. I thought maybe we were like fricking with the layout somehow here, but we're not. I feel like this property would be so easy to support. Maybe we should just do it. Fill with background color. Let's try to add that, just cause it's nice. Actually, don't we have set property? Yeah, we have save to. Do we have load? Some other way to load? So I think I only ever made like the saving variant. So this is what the inspector program uses to sort of serialize the state of a widget. Obviously, it doesn't serialize everything yet, but you can see here that the basic idea is that we're accumulating information in a JSON object about a specific widget. Let's see. So we're just gonna leave this alone for now, I think. But maybe later we'll make like a load from that is sort of analogous to this. Load from JSON. Fill with background color is JSON get. If fill with background color is Boolean, then fill with background color to bool. Beautiful. Because then we can say this in our JSON. So let's try that. Fill with background color. True. So we don't have to say it here. And the find and replace widget, same story. Maybe we should name this one like name. This is not so much the main window as it is the main widget, actually. But yeah, so I think this is not actually used for anything, but I feel like it sort of makes it easier to orientate yourself around the JSON file if you can have a name for everything. Okay, so we don't need that. And then these guys we didn't actually do with JSON. The margin thing is weird though. Why is that not working? Maybe it is working and I'm just not seeing it. Let's set some obscene margins and see what happens. Oh, and we probably need to have a dependency thingy to make sure that stuff gets regenerated if I touch the JSON file. So we'll call that the main widget UI. Main window UI is not a bad name. Okay, maybe that's okay. Depends. It depends on main window.json in the current source directory. Okay. Let me see if that worked. So no work to do. I save that file, regenerates it. But it doesn't rebuild. Dang it, how do I make it do that? Write if different. Main dependency. Because what I want to say is like this thing here depends on this thing. What does verbatim mean? Arguments will be escaped properly for the build tool, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I guess that's fair. I'm not sure if that's relevant here. But how do I make it rebuild when this happens? I guess I have to, well, the program depends on the sources. The source has this in it. Do I have to, I have to peek at something else. What's somebody who uses this? I guess the web again. So here it's just up here. Although in this case it's a CPP file. Maybe it did rebuild and I'm just stupid. Actually, maybe it did. How would I know? Because I don't... Okay. Let me do something goofy here. Like, we'll change it to a horizontal box layout. And now I did a rebuild, and everything gets weird because parse failed. Okay, well, at least we know that it was loaded. Why did the parse fail? JSON validator. I don't know. That's valid JSON. Okay. You don't like it because? Okay, so this part weirds me out. Like, this obviously looks beautiful, by the way. But why does it matter if I move this? I don't get it. Now it doesn't care? Why? I'm confused. Something here is not adding up. But one thing that we will do is that we will just make the tool dump out. We'll skip the initial new line here, I think. So something like this. Oh wait, I don't want that backslash there. Why is there a backslash? Didn't do that right. Ah! Okay. Okay, now it looks very solid and it comes out good. Okay. Those margins, okay, the margins are obviously taking effect. I thought they were not, but they are. That's good. So it just looked stupid, basically, before. Then we can simply return them. Okay, and that'll just be something that we should work on later. It is cool that you can tweak the UI here. It would be great to get to a point where you can override one of these at runtime, or at least when you start up an application. But even now, this is really awesome. Okay. So I think we're gonna commit at this stage, and we'll go from here. So there are a bunch of obvious improvements that we need to be making later, but I think this is good for a first cut. So let's see. We'll add the widget changes. We'll do the text editor changes separately. The GUI, or actually I don't need that root CMake list change. The GUI. Start building a way to instantiate GUI from JSON. My original idea for building for GUI building tools was to have Visual Builder have the Visual Builder app generate C++ code that program, which in turn programmatically instantiated UI. That doesn't seem that never really materialized in useful way beyond static UIs. So this is a new, fresh, new approach using JSON to declare the UI and parsing and constructing this UI at runtime. This will allow for way more dynamic and flexible approaches to GUI development, I think. Basic idea is that you pass a JSON string to widget load from JSON, and it will parse. It takes care of the rest. This first version supports box layouts, basic box layouts, and arbitrary instantiation of arbitrary widgets as long as those widgets have been registered. This has this code has some pretty rough edges right now, as it's very much evolving, and we need to figure out a lot of things about how it should work. Nevertheless, it feels pretty cool. Okay. So now we will introduce the thing here first. Add a helper script for generating a C++ string definition text font. Not the most interesting thing. Okay, and finally, text editor. Move the main window UI to JSON. Okay. This is our first client of the new GUI widget API for the new GUI JSON declaration thingy. JSON GUI declaration thingy. And the GUI. Yeah. The skeleton of the text editor app GUI is now declared separately from the C++ logic, and we use the widget names, the core object name widgets to locate them once they have been instantiated by the GUI builder. Yes. Okay, so I think this is really neat. Obviously, it's pretty rough, but it feels really cool. So, text editor widget. So we had some other things in here, like we had the find widget inside the find replace widget. So maybe let's just try to add these two as well. We'll see how that goes. So the find widget is inside the find replace widget. So here we have some children. Which is an array. And then here we start with a class. It's just a plain GUI widget. And it has a name, find widget, I guess. Fill background color is true. Size policy, or no, wait. Horizontal size policy is fill. Vertical size policy is fixed. Yes, and then it's height 22. And it needs a layout, horizontal box layout. Okay. And I guess we can do the replace widget as well. Those are identical. Okay, so then we can drop this, 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 and this. Visible is also something that we could include here, actually. So instead of doing this guy, you would just instead do find descendant by name, find widget. And find descendant by name, replace widget. Okay, so let's see if this still works. It does not quite work. All right. So what's wrong with this? Did we actually regenerate the thing? We have find widget here, replace widget. I guess we should do a dump again. Dump tree. See what we're looking at. So the horizontal splitter, and then this is the find replace widget, has a vertical box layout, which has widget and widget. Those should be the find and replace widgets. Why does that not work? Wait, hold on, let's see. Core object, dump tree should really show the names of things if we have names. So let's include that. If name, printf, name. Okay. Makes it a little bit more helpful if we can see the names in the object tree. Okay, so here are the find widget and replace widget buddies, but it just doesn't quite come out right. Can we connect to this thing with the inspector, perhaps? Okay, so let's take a look. And here is our widget. Oh, mouse events are broken in tree view. That's annoying. This is the find widget, it says right here, and replace widget. And it has a bunch of things inside of it, but they have empty rects. Oh, interesting. Okay. So it seems like double clicking here is broken. Or is it? No, just clicking anywhere if you're scrolled. Okay, well, we need to take care of that. Anyway, this text box. Find widget, I feel like it's missing a layout. Did I not instantiate the layout correctly? Vertical box. GUI horizontal box layout. That's what I said. Is it not? Well, now I'm doubting myself, but I feel like I said it. Actually, we don't see layouts in these guys. Okay, maybe I'm just messing it up in an obvious way. Yes, I am messing this up. See, layout here is a string. It should be an object. We should have an error for that. Layout. If layout value is not null, but layout value is not an object either, okay. So this should just look like this. That makes sense. And there we are. Very cool. Okay. So loop core include object names in object dump tree output. Okay, and what did we do here? GUI complain about malformed layout. Values in JSON GUI. Okay. And then we will we'll move those guys over here. So text editor, move the find and replace widget containers to JSON GUI. Okay, and then maybe finally we'll do the visible property as well. That will be our last thing for today, I think. So the find replace widget should be default visible false. Actually, I feel like, does it really matter if these are visible false? It should only matter that the container is visible false. Yeah, it was fine without those being false. I'm not sure why it was like that. I guess maybe because at first we only had the find widget and then we added the replace widget later. Also, those widgets are not super beautiful, like they need some help. But the initial state of the page view or the web view should also be visible false. So we'll do that here. Let's see, visible false. Find replace widget visible false. And then we will just make this thing yoink out visible. There's definitely some way to approach this with macros or templates or something, but we'll get to that. Yep, this is awesome. This is really, really cool. I love it. So neat. Oh wait, hold on. Or you know what? Let's commit them together. Let's do a separate commit. Let GUI add. Allow setting widget visibility from JSON GUI spec. No, yes, no, no. Okay. Text editor, set the widget visible properties in JSON GUI. Move widget visibility. Set initial widget visibility. Visibilities from JSON. This is so cool. I really liked it. I love how it sort of streamlines more and more what we have to do in C++, because we load the UI and then we just grab the widgets by their names, and then we can modify them and set up callbacks and stuff like that. But all of the layout stuff is just done over here now. Very, very cool. So I think this is going to be fantastic. I think we'll have to iterate on it a bit more like this, by like hand editing before we switch over to building tools for it. But this is very interesting. So this is going to be the end of today's video. So if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching and for hanging out. And I hope you saw something interesting here. And if you have any comments or suggestions about ways that this could be improved, whether it's about like workflow or efficiency or something about the implementation that could be better, let me know. I'm just kind of discovering this as I go here, which you can probably tell. So I'm very open to all kinds of feedback. Anyway, yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you next time.